Organic Molecules by Anastasia, Annie, and Fiona. Organic molecule. There are 4 organic molecules: carbohydrates, lipids, protein, and nucleic acid. An organic compound always includes carbon joined to itself or hydrogen. Carbohydrates are a large group of organic compounds which can be found in foods or in living tissues. The molecular formula for carbohydrates is CnH2ON. Carbohydrates consist of the following essential elements: carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Now let's look closer into carbohydrates. Carbohydrates divide into 3 groups: monosaccharides, disaccharides, and polysaccharides. Monosaccharides are basic unit of carbohydrates, aka also known as simple sugar. Monosaccharides are soluble in water, colorless, and taste sweet. Some examples of monosaccharides include fructose and glucose. A little side note: glucose is found in plants and is the main product of photosynthesis. Disaccharides are 2 monosaccharides chemically bonded together by dehydration synthesis, also known as condensation. Some examples of disaccharide sugars are maltose, sucrose, and lactose, which is a carbohydrate found in milk. Also, fructose is seen in this illustration. Polysaccharides are long carbohydrate molecules. Polysaccharides are polymers of monosaccharides formed by hydrolysis. Example: polysaccharides are also known as complex carbohydrates. Some examples of polysaccharides are starch, glycogen, cellulose, and chitin. Chitin is used as a structural molecule in fungi. An example of a carbohydrate is starch. The second organic molecule is lipids. Lipids consist of the same element as carbohydrates, but contain more than oxygen atoms. Lipids are nonpolar molecules. This includes fats, oils, and cholesterol. Now let's look closer into lipids. Lipids are insoluble in water due to hydrocarbon chains. Triglycerols are 3 fatty acids attached to a glycerol molecule. Triglycerols are fat found in blood and are used to provide energy to the body. Fats and oils. We know that fats consist of glycerol and fatty acids, but in addition, the glycerol contains 3 OH groups, and fats can be solid or liquid form in room temperature, depending on their composition and structure. Fatty acids consist of long hydrocarbon chains. There are 2 main types of fats: saturated fats and unsaturated fats. Saturated fats, also known as bad fats, are solid in room temperature. They contain fatty acids in which all carbon bonds are single bonds. These fats usually found in butter and red meat. Saturated fats are also known to cause high cholesterol. Unsaturated fats, the good fats, are liquid in room temperature. They contain fatty acids with at least 1 carbon double bond. These fats are usually found in foods like vegetables and fish. Here is a picture of a saturated fat. Here is a picture of an unsaturated fat. Phospholipids. The phospholipid consists of polar phosphate head, which is hydrophilic, and a non-polar fatty acid tail, which is hydrophobic. Phospholipids act as a building block of the biological cell membrane. They also help maintain equilibrium between the internal and external parts of the cell. Here is an example of the phospholipid bilayer. Why are lipids useful and what are their functions? Well, it's a long-term energy storage compound. It is broken down as a source of energy. It makes up the cell membrane. Also, steroids and wax are lipids. Steroids have skeletons of 4 fused carbon rings. Examples of steroids are cholesterol, chlorophyll, and hormones. Our bodies use cholesterol to make the hormones, and chlorophyll is used by plants for photosynthesis. An example of an hormone is testosterone found in males.
The functions of a protein include support, enzymes, transport, defense, hormones, and motion. Proteins protect us from diseases by making up antibodies that fight off foreign substances. Proteins also help carry essential nutrients around our body. Proteins are polymers of amino monomers. There are 20 different amino acids that are used to build proteins. Amino acids differ in side groups or R groups. Around 20% of our body is made up of proteins. Every cell in our body uses proteins to perform various functions. Proteins are made inside cells. When a cell makes a protein, it is called protein synthesis. Amino acids interact to give its protein its shape. The primary structure is the sequence of amino acids. Amino acids join to form a polypeptide. Secondary structure is when polypeptide coils and the hydrogen bonding between amino acids causes the polypeptide to form an alpha helix. The tertiary structure is the folding and twisting that results in 3D shape of a polypeptide. The helix folds into a circular cluster due to the amino acids R group covalent bonding. Finally, the quaternary structure is made of more than one polypeptide which forms a protein. Nucleic acids are molecules which code the genetic information of organisms. They are the polymers of monomers called nucleotides. Nucleotides consist of a sugar, phosphate group, and a nitrogen base. Good. DNA is found in all living things. DNA stores genetic information. The bases of DNA are adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine. The RNA builds proteins. The bases are adenine, uracil, guanine, and cytosine.